Well, here we are. I just got off the bus. It's a beautiful, cold fucking November day in Boston, and there's one motherfucking beautiful church. I've been wanting to do one of these for a little bit, where I just give a tour of the city. Unfortunately, I want to do this in June. I want to do it in the summertime when I'm not freezing my tit off. But I worked all fucking summer. And then in June, I had 2 weeks where I didn't, where I showed my girlfriend, Mary, the whole city. She was up from Colombia. It was her first time in America. Unfortunately, Mary has already been subjected to my GoPro in your face YouTube filming, and she's not a fan of it. She endured it throughout multiple Colombia trips. She endured it in Ecuador. You guys are like, Mike, we haven't seen that, probably because I fucking uploaded all this shit out of order, probably in out of order over the span of 2 to 3 years. Either way, she did, so I gave her a break. And I didn't do it, even though we had some great adventures and the weather was beautiful. And Boston's a lot prettier in June, and also the sun sets around 9:30 in June. Right now it is Tuesday, and Thursday is Thanksgiving. And right now the sun sets at 4 p.m. So I had to come in town early just to get some sunlight. And as you can see, probably thinking, Mike, why is the sun so low in the sky? Why can't the sun get it up? Oh, welcome to fucking Northern Hemisphere, dude. I spent too much time at the equator. I've been getting used to sunrise at 6 and sunset at 6 p.m. every single day. You gotta remember that during the winter months, during November and December, late fall, early winter, the sun barely makes it up. Like a limp dick. Like a wet noodle. Like a limp dick or a wet noodle, the sun struggles to come up. And I don't understand how those women felt when I was drinking and trying to hook up. And you sit there and you go, well, I'm just happy you're here, son. I know how they felt, you know, like it's better than nothing, but it's not what you came out for. I shouldn't talk shit, because if it wasn't for that sun, I would literally be frigid. I already have another jacket in my backpack. Anyway, here we are, and we're doing it. And I can't put it on Mary because I was supposed to come back later on. But you know what? This time there's less tourists out. And this is part of the experience. This is part of living in Boston, is being cold and uncomfortable on a regular basis. That's just what it is, man. And also, I don't want any more people to move here because it's fucking cold. Well, no, excuse me. I just misspoke. I haven't been on camera in a while. I don't want them to move here because it's expensive. Because everything here is expensive. Nothing is affordable. Nothing is cheap. It's one of the most expensive cities in America. And I damn well can't afford to live here anymore. So I might as well give you a tour before I'm fully on the outs. Anyway, I'm going to start here. This bad Larry right here. That's the John Hancock building. That is the tallest building in the city of Boston. Named after Mr. Hancock. Not his brother Herbie, but John. Johnny. John, as we all know, guy with a hell of a signature, who signed the Declaration of Independence. Now it's an insurance company. This building was built in the 70s, and a lot of people don't know this, but back when they first built it, those window panes, they didn't fit. So they would fall. Like, they would fall. I'm not even kidding with you. They would fall out of the sky onto the ground right here. You can find old videos of them putting caution tape around because panes of glass were falling out of that son of a bitch. This was and this was it, guys. This was the beginning of the end of Boston architecture. Bostonians love to talk shit about New York. New York, beautiful architecture, amazing buildings, amazing architecture, high Gothic, you know, modern Gothic type buildings, Art Deco type buildings, Empire State Building, the Chrysler. All right, those aren't even the pretty ones. But you go to New York City, you go to Manhattan, beautiful buildings, beautiful architecture. And then I want to say something happened in the 60s where all of the soul and all of the creativity was taken out of every new building. And all we got were these weird, god-awful glass monstrosities. And what's crazy is that one actually doesn't look that bad compared to all the new buildings in Boston. Boston has, and I'm going to show you, in my humble opinion, become a very ugly city due to what I would characterize as brutalist glass architecture. It doesn't inspire you, right? It doesn't make you feel some kind of way. That does. That right there does. That church does. This beautiful old church. Something about it. Something about the bricks. Something about the angles. I'm telling you, it just makes you think. It's the way it's rounded. It's sexy. It's voluptuous. It's like a thick woman. And then what do you got here? You just got like a Finnish supermodel who's built like a 12-year-old Thai boy. That's what that feels like, right? It does. I don't know what to tell you, man. Something happened in every new building in Boston. And if you go to like where the 7 train ends at Hudson Yards in Manhattan, same thing. It just feels empty. It feels soulless. Doesn't feel like there's anything there. It not only does it not feel like anything there, in fact, most of the new buildings, they just kind of make you feel like shit inside. Makes you feel like you're in a prison. You know, that. That doesn't make you feel any better. It makes me feel like I'm in Calcutta. Anyway, it's the John Hancock. The panes no longer fall out. And if you, I hope you guys can see the reflection. The one upside is you can see a reflection in these window panes. That guy right there with the spire, that's not adding up. That was the second John Hancock. And this lower one right here that I'm currently standing in front of is the first John Hancock. In here is the John Hancock Hall. There's a theater in here that I would work at. I haven't worked in there in a while, but they have a nice little theater in there. They mostly do some kind of Asian Chinese thing right before New Year's and Christmas. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. I think it's like I want to call it the Urban Nutcracker because I'm pretty sure that's black. So I don't know what I don't think they have a code word. Sino, like that's Latin for Chinese. A Sino Nutcracker. They don't quite have a code, like urban's the new code word for black, even though I'm urban and I'm clearly white. I don't know if they've come up with that. I don't think Asians have that kind of pull yet in the PC spectrum. Well, BTD, those are the guys that ticket you when you fuck up and you're parked when you're not supposed to be. Anyway, this part of town is called Copley. That right there, that's the second John Hancock. And up top they have a light. And the light is based on the weather of the day. So when you come in, when you're driving into work, you'll see the light, and it's either a bright blue for a sunny day, it's a flashing blue for a cloudy day, it's I want to say it's red for rain, and a flashing red for maybe snow, sleet, and fog. Anyway, this bad boy has been here for quite some time, and I'm quite fond of it. It's something peaceful in a loud ass city. Nice little garden. John Codman ropes. I want to say that it's an Anglican church, mostly because a lot of the Protestant faiths don't like building nice churches. The Anglicans, it's really like a Catholic thing, but the Anglicans were what happened. They didn't really leave the Catholic Church because they had this huge disagree on doctrine, you know, the way like the Calvinists and the Lutherans did. With the Anglicans, it was simply, oh, hey, my king wants to have 30 wives because he can't get them pregnant. He wants to keep divorcing them. And the church said, no, dude, you can't. The Pope was like, dude, I already annulled your marriage. All right, you can't get that bitch pregnant. That's on you. All right, you had your chance. You didn't do it. And you know, Henry VIII went, well, I'm gonna, I can't, it's her fault that my fucking sperm don't work. It's not my fault. And he's like, I'm just gonna make my own church. And that's what he did. He made a church, which is basically a copy of the Catholic Church, except with him as the head. And it's, you know, it's just a giant divorce cult. I'm sorry, anyway, many of the founders were Anglican or Episcopal. So you can usually spot a Protestant church a mile away in New England, because they're the ones that have all the rainbow flags and the transgender flags out front, or they're like giant BLM posters, things like that. Very different from an evangelical church. So this is so at over there, the Prudential, second biggest building in Boston. They added that you see that little tower, that reservoir tip.
It's my fault.
They added that big boy up there in hopes of you know, putting up a fight against the John Hancock, but they did not. That is our Chrysler building. That is the one that tried, couldn't quite pull it off. Anyway, this thing under construction here is Copley Square. It's usually quite nice when it's not under construction, but in Boston, the whole city's under construction all day, every day. That, we're gonna go in over there. That's a Copley Boston Public Library. When I was a young man, I would take the bus down here, take the number 9. Right, so actually that's how I got here today. Took it, dropped me off right there in front of this hotel. Forget the name of it, but I've worked in there before. I set up some shows in there. I don't remember what for, but it's beautiful in there. It's quite beautiful. There's a fountain right there. This area is usually open, and it's quite nice-ish. They have to usually be careful when they do construction, because clearly they've evicted the homeless from their natural habitat. But I would come down here as a young man, and I would go into this library. This place holds a special place in my mind and in my heart, because I grew up in Southie, and I always wanted to go to the library. It was my happy place, a safe space, if you will. I liked reading, I liked learning. Something about it, something about the air of knowledge, the cleanness, the quiet, the order. It made sense to me. I loved it. And I'm just reading the sign out here. Library of the City of Boston, built by the people and dedicated to the advancement of learning. And then there's some Latin numerals. I believe is 1000. What is? And we'll go inside there. I used to go in there because I wouldn't. The public library in Southie had windows, and I was afraid to go in there because if anybody from my neighborhood could see me through these big windows in this little library, they'd call me a fag for reading. That's what would happen. I was already getting bullied. I didn't need to be like, reading was gay. And, you know, yeah, that's what it was. I don't know what to tell you. Learning was fucking gay. And you know, now they've changed it to just, if you don't learn the right stuff, you're a conspiracy theorist or a wacko. But I was afraid to be caught reading in my free time, so I came down here. And I used to come down here as a young man trying to figure out what I wanted with my life. Over here we have another beautiful church. I've been in there for AA meetings. It's been a long time. I think I brought my brother into that one, or one over here. And this has happened to me a couple times where I brought somebody to an AA meeting because they wanted to get sober, and then the AA meeting was all gay. And I was like, there's anything wrong with that. That's what you want to do. But The thing is that AA meetings on surface, you're like, I show up and I just talk with some people, and now you go, oh, I'm an alcoholic. There's so many different types. There's open groups, there's closed groups, there's groups where you have to shit, there's groups where you like turn off the lights and everyone holds hands and prays. There's all different types of there's some new age stuff, there's some old age, some we have to read from the AA book, like it's a Bible. There's just women, there's just newcomers, there's just older people, there's old comers, and sometimes there's like, I guess there's LGBT ones, I think there's like queer ones. There's just, it's all separated, because I've gone to a meeting and then they go, oh, this is for women, and I'm like, oh shit. And the woman who was running it, well, no one else is coming, so you can stay. And we had a meeting, just two of us, pretty nice. Had like a bonding experience. It was over in Jamaica Plain. Anyway, I've twice brought somebody to meetings where we were the only guys that weren't these like big hairy bears, but like very effeminate big and hairy bears. And I was like, I want you to know that, like, I remember going to my first meeting and it was all women speakers. I ran into an old friend. He goes, oh dude, it's not, he goes, this one sucks, it's all fucking broads. Don't stop coming. There's normal guys like us. When you're first trying to get right, you're afraid of seeming weak. So for guys like myself, that can be a deterrent. Anyway, over here we have Chick-fil-A. That's new. Chick-fil-A, the most overrated chicken you're ever gonna get. Is it good? Yeah. Is it overrated? Yes. Popeyes is better. It's barely above KFC in quality, but the service is amazing. I get it. And one of our previous mayors, Mayor Menino, called him Mumbles Menino because he had a speech impediment. Still got to become mayor. First Italian mayor of the city, and he said, we don't need you, Chick-fil-A, because, I don't know, the owner's like, is evangelical or some shit. He closes the places on Sunday, which is rich coming, because we used to close everything on Sundays around here. Closes the places on Sunday, and Menino said, oh, we don't need your fucking homophobia in Boston. It's like, kind of do. There's a happy medium. There's too much homophobia. Look, make sure I don't get one. There's too much homophobia, which is, beating people up. But there's also, there's too much. We've reached the oversaturation of the other end, where people just hover down the street and they fucking spray paint everything in the city with a rainbow flag. So you got to have a nice in between. So I appreciate you, Chick-fil-A, for that, for keeping a nice in between. I'm glad you made it to the city, even if you are, like, dude, the chicken fingers are small. It's just go get a chicken sandwich from Popeyes. Also, I farted like 5 minutes ago and that poor Asian guy walked right through it. I feel terrible. Burr, it's cold in here. There must be some tourists in the atmosphere. Thank you.
I don't. That's good.
Hi, how's it going? You guys open or?
Yeah, we're open. So we're open for tours and sightseeing. We have self-guided tours if you'd like. We also have a guided tour at 11, so about 12 minutes. And then I'm in the process of setting up the audio.
All right. I think I'm just gonna walk around myself. If that's all
You
right.
want to do self?
Yeah.
Just one adult, or do you have any other?